Hey everybody, my name is Sim Borodach, and for my project, I'm building a content recommender with news data. I'm interested in articles from medium.com, specifically their self-health articles, and I wanted to look at the distinctions between writers that write about anecdotal stories about their own lives versus those writers that write about expert opinions. I hope to scrape data from medium.com, but unfortunately they make it pretty challenging to do so. So I pivoted to use a data set from Microsoft that I could look at similar news data and create recommendation systems this way. Microsoft provides two data sets. The first one has article data, which includes a code topic and title for every single article in the corpus of 43,000 articles. And then there's user data, which includes a user ID and the codes of those articles that they've read. The article data doesn't include the content of the articles, so that was something that I had to scrape using Beautiful Soup. This was my tech stack, so in addition to using Beautiful Soup, I wrote scripts in Python to run the programs in Jupyter Lab. I heavily utilized NumPy and Pandas to create vectors and manipulate data frames. I plotted my data in Matplotlib and then ran topic modeling in sklearn. Just to do a quick review, there are two types of recommenders generally, or in principle. The first one is collaborative filtering, where we have two similars that have a similar reading history and a general profile. So they share interests perhaps, or they have they fall into similar age groups or demographics. And then when we recommend to one user, in this case, the man in blue, what the woman in pink had read. So that would be additional content that we recommend to him based on what she also read. In contrast, there's content-based filtering where we just have a single user and we look at the history of what they've read and we recommend to him a new article that's similar to articles that he's previously read. So in this case, it was much simpler for me to go with content-based filtering as I had article data and I have the information about users and what articles that they've read in the past. The process for creating this recommender has 3 steps. The first was to reduce the amount of dimensions that I had. So we were looking at thousands and thousands of words, and I wanted to find a way to reduce those to just a number of features that we could make these similarities between articles on. So this process is called Dimensionality Reduction, and here we have this example article of Spike Lee. There are 3 topics that we're looking at in red, blue, and green. So we pull out words from every single article, in this case, the Spike Lee article, that pertain to a particular topic, and then we plot the relevance of an article to each of the topics. So in this case, politics is the most relevant topic for this article. So we do this across all articles, and then we create a user vector, and this is step 2, by averaging the relevance of all the articles that a user's read, and then we use that to compare that user vector to articles in order to make recommendations, and that's cosine similarity. So we think about the angle between a user where they fall in the dimension space, and we recommend articles that have the closest cosine similarity, the smallest angle. So here's an example of some results. We have this user Jim. Jim mostly likes to read about sports and picks out a Hollywood news article every once in a while. Occasionally he clicks an article on some other topic. As you can see in the previously read articles, he's mostly read sports. He's read a Hollywood article and then topic on marijuana. What we've recommended to him is mostly sports articles. This at least demonstrates that the topic modeling is picking up that Jim has a strong interest in sports. It misses some of the other subtleties, but because his dominant interest is in sports, that's mostly what he gets recommended. For future steps, I would like to get feedback from my own social networks. I would provide them this recommender and see how they actually find it functions for themselves. I would also like to create a content recommender for medium.com and deploy an app so that this work can be reproduced. Thank you so much for listening. If you're interested in speaking with me or interested in talking about this topic, please reach out to me on any of these forums, and thank you again.